Well, I just got out of seeing Flight Risk, and I'm just going to say right off the bat that I am proud to report that this movie was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought from the trailers that this was definitely going to be a lot worse than what it was. Now, granted, this movie is not good. It's still not good. It is watchable, but the script does everything in its power to try to make this thing unbearable. Going into this movie, I had extremely low expectations. I really thought this was going to be a complete atrocity, and I really was just dreading even going into this because, like I said, the trailers for me were some of the, like, it was the worst just put together movie plot, character not development, but characters as far as Mark Wahlberg was doing. But come to find out, he was doing that because that was the only way to make this thing somewhat entertaining. I mean, the premise of this movie alone frustrates the hell out of me because I'm trying to wrap my head, still, after watching this movie, I'm trying to wrap my head at how you are escorting a witness that is testifying against a mobster or a mafia guy or a big crime boss, whatever. And only one person, okay, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. Somewhat, because, I mean, if it was like Charlize Theron or Ana de Armas or, you know, Anya Taylor-Joy, someone else, someone that has like an action background or just looks a lot more like Cut, sure, I could buy it. This lady, not particularly, but one lady is escorting this very highly classified witness, and they're riding on a rugged plane, like from Alaska. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Then you expect me to believe that this lady can handle herself against Mark Wahlberg for an hour and 40 or an hour and 30 minutes. Thank goodness, because if it went on for any longer, I would have definitely been pulling my hairs out. But you just expect me to believe that for a full-length movie that this scenario could play out? This is a 20-minute thing. Because this is one of the most worst pulled off jobs ever. And the plot is pretty predictable. At least it was for me, because I thought about this thing way too hard before the movie started. And I'm just like, I know how this is going to go. Now, granted, it is watchable. I can give the movie that. As I said, the script does this movie no favors. But Mark Wahlberg has to play this character this way to make this thing watchable. The lady in this movie is actually pretty good. Sorry, I don't know the actress's name. She does not do a bad job at all. Topher Grace, love Eric Foreman, man. Love Eric Foreman. So he's good in the movie as well. Like I said, the script is not doing these characters any favors because the writing is unbearable at times. There are also points in this movie where it turns into a complete snooze fest. There are times in this movie where, of course, as I said, the female character cannot necessarily handle a battle with Mark Wahlberg in a plane setting for a complete hour and 30-minute movie. It just can't happen. So they spend time one-upping each other throughout the movie. And when she one-ups him and, you know, handcuffs him or, you know, puts him in some, you know, sort of boundary so he can't move, there's time that lapses where her and Topher Grace's character become, like, quote-unquote closer, or they, you know, trying to figure stuff out, and, you know, they're just playing stuff and trying to figure out their situation. Those gaps are way too long. They become very boring when the development moments come, and it really becomes, honestly, hard to stay up through because it's such a boring watch at times. I'd say the most entertaining thing about the entire plane ride, as far as action sequences go, was the landing, quote unquote. I mean, other than that, it was cool, like watching them one-up each other, because honestly, as I said, like, Mark Wahlberg beat the shit out of her at some time. She beat the shit out of him at some time. So, you know, she got her get back. It was some nice back and forth. But some of these gaps were just way too long development-wise, and they were not entertaining enough to watch because the writing, like, as I said, did not help these characters whatsoever. One of my biggest fears going into this movie really had to do with, as I continued to keep thinking about the plot, like, what they would do to kind of, like, play this thing out. I'm not necessarily going to say drag. They do drag it out, but play this entire premise out for a full feature-length movie. And my worst fears kind of sort of came true because they were just dragging it, like trying to develop characters. I think make you care about them in a sense, but you don't really. Like I said, these actors do a very good job of trying to do the script justice, or Yeah, they definitely do their best job to give this thing justice, but at times it's just like it's just running through cliches, just trying to be an action thriller drama heartfelt movie. It just all these things at once. And then it said directed by Mel Gibson at the end of the movie, and that made all the sense in the world. All the sense in the world. I was like, that makes total sense. But as I said, Flight Risk is watchable. I can't necessarily say it was good. I mean, it was a lot better. Like I said, I can definitely say it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It is still not good, but it is so much better than what I thought it was going to be. I actually thought it was going to be a lot worse. So, I don't know. Yeah, it surprised me in that sense, I guess.